Hey guys, welcome to Sippin and Spilling with 3 Mississippi. I'm Sid.
I'm Mike. I was sipping.
He was swallowing, but
I was sipping.
Yeah.
So this might be a long one, guys. We are about to attempt to walk around on the front section of the property nearest the house here and discuss the long-term plan.
The battle du jour.
The battle du jour. the long-term plan for some important things, like where might the barn go?
Yeah.
Where might we want to put the chicken coop? Where might we want what kinds of animals?
And I feel like we probably don't agree on a lot of it, but here's part of the problem. I'll just say right off the bat. Like, I feel like the areas where his garden makes sense to go apparently don't make sense because he doesn't get morning sun there, and I feel like that's sad because
well,
I
look,
feel like it would
it either makes sense or it doesn't make sense.
Well,
if you don't get morning sun, it's not a garden spot.
Okay, well,
unless you cut down all the trees.
I'm not the plant person.
Yeah.
I'm the animal person. So I'm looking at it going, well, that makes sense for me to put my animals there. And he's like, no, I need to put my garden there. And I'm like, well, I don't like
There's
that.
just certain things that make sense. Like the spot that I want to put my garden gets morning sun and is a slightly south-facing slope. It's the best spot for a garden.
Okay.
Pretty much
Be
the
a
end.
really good spot for a chicken coop, in my opinion. But that's another argument for another day.
It would be a good spot for a chicken
Exactly.
coop. But it's
Chickens
the
like
only
morning sun too.
But there's other spots
how they know
that
to
would
get
be a
up.
good spot for a chicken coop, and that's the only spot.
So then you have to buy my chickens an alarm clock if you're not going to let them have morning sun. You're going to put them in the shade over here.
I'm gonna have to trade my sweet tea for whiskey in a minute. Not gonna lie.
Okay, anyway.
So
moving
we
on.
are up near here. We'll show you where we're at. Spinny around. So back here's the house, right? And out in front of the house, guys, as I pan like this,
There's no good word.
there's this massive yard that goes all the way to the county road. And that yard, yeah, I mean, for people that are trying to live a self-sustainable lifestyle, that yard is kind of
too much yard.
It's a wasted resource.
Yeah.
For now, we're gonna
It's
keep
not like
it.
we're doing anything to it to make it, like, we're not watering it or wasting
Right.
anything on it. It just
Right.
grows because we're in Mississippi, and that's what grass does in Mississippi. It just grows.
I mean, we're gonna keep the yard like that for a while because we have all this other space and all these other resources as I spinny around to use, right? So, but I would say eventually we will not have a yard this big. Eventually we will do something
Maybe
different.
that's where my koi pond and Baja deck will go.
How is that self-sustainable?
I didn't say it was.
Oh, okay. Trade one pretty thing for another. All right. Whew. This is going to be a struggle, guys. It's going to be a struggle. We're about to try to have a real conversation.
I know.
And I should go switch this for whiskey.
No, you're fine.
All right.
I'll take it easy
All right.
on you, I promise.
So we're going to start walking out of what's currently right now the manicured yard. Okay. You want to hold my, here, let me take a sip.
We're walking into what we call, what am I doing? What am I holding? Oh, this.
Yeah.
I'm holding a sip. Okay.
I'm going to spin the camera around while we talk.
Yeah,
okay?
we're walking into the grilled cheese sandwich because from an aerial view, it looks like if you took a grilled cheese sandwich and cut it in half.
Yeah. So this fence line right here doesn't need much work. It's a pretty good fence line. All right. We need to add a strand or two if we want to keep goats in here. But it goes all the way down to the county road. And it goes, that's a pond right there. We can walk.
Taller if you want goats there.
Yeah.
By the way, mister.
We'll put a hot wire across the top if we
If
do.
you're gonna let me put Nubians over here, it needs to be taller. It needs to be more intense.
Hey, I'm the infrastructure guy.
Well, yeah, but I'm the goat girl, so that
right.
means that I tell you that it needs more.
Okay, moving on.
Power. Okay, he didn't care.
We're doing a preliminary conceptual layout.
Giant squirrel.
Yeah, it's a pretty big squirrel.
I legitimately just went squirrel.
Yeah. So, all right. So this whole area down to that oak tree right there, and then to the creek. Okay. And then there's a tree line that comes up, and you'll notice this tree line like this, boom, 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 boom. This natural tree line all the way back up to the gate. To me, That's a good spot for a fence line. And we've actually already been using this spot right here between those 2 pine trees and those 2 pine trees as kind of a drive-through. So I feel like this is a great natural spot to put a fence all the way up.
We're gonna put a McDonald's there.
Along that tree line, all the way to that gate. Add a gate there.
Nobody gets that.
And now we have this fully fenced in area here. Calm down.
It tried to get me.
It didn't try to get you. It was just checking you out. We have this fully fenced in area at that point that I feel like is a good spot for some animals. So what kind, we were talking about what? Potentially goats over here.
A couple goats, just a couple, just so I can do a little bit of milking during the season. And here's my dilemma too. Mike doesn't want me to keep a buck. He doesn't want me to raise a buck.
Nope.
No bucks allowed.
I don't like goats. I don't like goats at all.
I know, you're very anti. You liked Caroline, okay.
Whatever.
As long as she was penned up. So my dilemma is I have to get a stud, have her have a nice blind date, and then I'll have milk and cheese and all that.
Yeah, but that's not part of today's figure out.
But I'll have
like
a couple female goats to keep each other company, and then when they, when they have the babies, I'll sell off the babies and whatever.
Okay, so for a preliminary possibility, if this area were going to be for goats.
4 goats. I could have 4 goats.
Okay, so
That's a lot of milking. But
what kind of structure would need to be over here?
Proper fencing.
Right.
Right off the bat. Structure-wise, they just need like a little place to get out of the hot and the cold.
Where would you put that? Look around this area right here and tell me, where would you put?
Well, I don't know. You want them to have access to the pond, right?
Well, they got to have water.
Well, wouldn't I just? Okay. So I don't. This would need some work before we could be like, goats have water.
What's wrong with it?
I just feel like I don't.
The deer drink out of it.
Yeah, goats are a little like. Do you remember the time that Caroline fell?
Okay, scratch that. We're not getting goats. This just got too complicated.
Well, no, I'll figure it out. I'll have to just test it out and make sure that they can get in there.
What? They're goats. They can go anywhere.
But goats.
Good luck keeping them out.
Okay. Sometimes they do dumb things.
Okay.
Remember when Caroline fell in the swimming pool?
Jesus. It's a stock pond.
I know.
It's built for stock. Goats are stock.
Okay, well, we'll see. I think it'll be all right. We just have to yeah. And then they just need something like they can go in when it's for shade, like a lean-to.
And where would you build that?
Well, wherever you tell me to.
No, because I'll build it somewhere and you'll say that was the wrong spot.
Well, it can't go there because that's the drive-through.
Right.
So that's bad spot.
So start working out. Where could it go?
Well, I'm a little confused about where you want to put the fence. I'm not picturing it.
So see these trees?
Yeah.
There's a straight line. There's a tree.
Gotcha.
There's a space. Tree. That's the fence line.
But then how are you going to drive? There's going to be a gate.
There's going to be a gate
And a gate
there and a gate
So could the
there.
little house thing be right here? Coming this way?
I'm sure.
Okay, that's where it's going to go then.
Well, here's the other thing I was thinking. You're trying to figure out where to put a chicken coop for layers. And you want...
Can I put them here?
How many layers do we want?
I don't like... You can't... Chicken math is like a relative thing.
All right, here's
So
my
all
problem
the
with
chickens.
chickens. No, here's my problem with chickens, folks. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This one will get too many chickens.
That's chicken math. You
for
guys
an
know
area.
chicken math. Chicken math.
No, hold on. There is 100% a number where once you go over that number, it's too many chickens.
But I could have like 30 chickens over here with the goats.
No, the chickens are not going to free range. We're not going to build fences that will hold chickens in. The chickens have to be in a run.
That's fine. But they could be in here in a big run with the goats.
How big is this run?
Big enough to hold 30 chickens.
I think 30's too many. Where are you getting all this money to build these runs?
Why can't they free range a little bit?
Because they'll be on the front porch.
No.
100% they will. If you free range them, they will be on the front porch. That will be stepping on chicken poop on the front porch. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I'll teach them nice.
You will not teach them. Chickens can't be taught.
This is why we get in arguments.
All right, look, here's my thought. This fence line right here, from that point right there,
Yeah.
all the way up to the gate up there.
Uh-huh.
We could build a fence, okay? We could then come out and use the trees as fence posts,
Right.
okay?
I'm with you.
And we could build that fence tall,
Very
okay?
tall.
Then we could come out off of here about 12, 15 feet
Okay.
and build a fence all the way up to that gate and essentially close in a big rectangle right here,
Okay.
okay? Tall enough that it holds the birds. And if we needed to, at the very top, we could step in 6 inches and run a hot line around the top
And
or
then
something.
it's tall enough that the goats wouldn't get on top of it too.
Yeah, it would be like 8, 10 feet tall so that the birds can't get out. So then you have a pretty good size run right there, and you build your chicken coop inside that. And that's it. That's where your birds live. Your birds don't free range beyond that.
But sometimes they could come out a little bit.
Why?
Because they could go back in their house after.
Okay, listen.
I don't understand. If you have them like in the same spot and it's small, then it's gonna get nasty.
That's why there's a limit on how many birds.
All the birds.
Yeah, this is not gonna work. All right, we're moving on.
Chicken math. Okay.
We're moving on. We've potentially said that we could have a chicken coop somewhere up along this fence line, right?
Yes.
And that also somewhere up along this fence line, probably near the chicken coop, would be a structure for the goats.
Yes.
Okay. And that this wedge right here could
the
potentially be the goat
Yes.
pasture.
Other part of the grilled cheese sandwich.
Right. All right. So now we move on
Okay.
to this next piece of pasture. Let's walk through.
We're walking. We're walking.
We're walking.
We're walking.
We're walking. This is so far nobody's putting boxing gloves on. I'm getting a little frustrated though.
He's very frustrated with me. Can you tell?
I get
Give me a comment
frustrated.
if you can tell that he's frustrated with me.
I get frustrated anytime we talk about anything having to do with
So, but-
reality versus
Well,
what she wants.
I also think, so we were talking about, I think it should be nearer to the barn, but he does not think
Near what
so.
to the barn?
The chicken coop.
Okay.
I have a different vision, and my vision and his vision are not syncing up, I think. But that's okay. Go ahead. Tell the people.
Where do you want the barn?
Tell me where you want the barn.
Well, look, so now we move through this tree line, which is the fence line.
Yeah, it smells pretty over here.
And we have,
Salt.
okay, here, let me just spin the camera around again. All right. So now we have this big, it's not that big, but you know, it's a few acres.
I could put
pasture.
a lot of chickens out here.
Okay. So this pasture right here with that nice pine tree right in the middle of it
Smells good.
is what we were thinking would potentially be used for horses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And maybe, can you mix horses and cows?
I mean, yeah. But,
So if you had
mean-
a single steer,
yeah.
you could put it in
If
this
it was-
pasture.
If it was nice and the horses were used to it. If you get an old dead broke horse.
Or, you know, honestly, you put a steer in here like in the spring because we're not getting a horse right away.
No.
So either way, we've got this pasture right here. And I don't know if you guys can see that fence line right there, just on the other side of that pine tree. We're going to walk over there and look at it from that gate. In fact, let's walk that way while we continue to argue. Here, I need a sip.
Okay, good, because I was tired of carrying it.
All right. So, see, my thing is this. I really want to focus on the 6 acres or so that's right around the house first. I don't want to have space up near the house that we're not using, but have to go all the way to the back of the property to tend to some animals, right? So that's kind of why I feel like, for now, what's the matter?
I just like this spot. It's very pretty.
Okay, you stay here. So,
You're running away. You can't run from the Lord.
wow. What movie was that?
It was a TikTok thing.
Oh, it was a TikTok, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. Everybody was doing that. So, yeah, so this pasture is pretty good size, actually. And I feel like as we get up to this gate, I'm going to see if I can show you guys my vision of...
My little legs can't keep up.
where I think the barn should be, to make it the most like usable.
Efficient.
Here, hold this. All right, so let me turn this camera around again. All right, so right now we're back up near the house over here. This is that fence line that continued down. Okay, there's a gate right here and there's a gate right here. Okay, fence here. Now on the other side of this gate, this is where we have a south facing slope where we get the most morning sun. Okay, so I feel like this is without question the best spot for a garden, either up here on this high spot or down here. But either way, on this south facing slope is definitely the best place for a garden. Okay, anyway, that leaves all of this over here, another few acres, for possibly our sheep herd, right? And we could continue this fence line straight, follow this road, this driveway that we've been using all the way down to the creek, and we could put a fence there. Okay, and we could fence in, because there's already a fence here and there's already a fence along that creek. So we would need to fence along that bottom and up here, and then we would have a few acres fenced in for sheep right here.
And you need a gate like at the culvert.
Right. Okay, so now back to this subject. So right here we already have a fence line here. I was thinking the barn is at the bottom of this hill before the creek, so that you drive down this, like this drive to the barn. Okay, that gets the barn far enough away from the house that we don't have to deal with barn nonsense at the house. But I think that that is too far from the house to have your chicken coop down there, because you're going to be going out there at night to lock up the chickens.
Well, if they're locked, they're already locked in a thing, because you won't let me free range them. So if they're already in a thing, they're already in a thing. They're not getting put up really at night.
So now I have to build their entire run predator proof? No, that's not happening. The run's not going to be predator proof.
I don't understand you, mister. Okay.
Well, that's because you're not the one that goes to the hardware store and spends the money.
Okay, can't you just make it so it's how it should be? I don't know.
It needs to be as simple as can be efficient as possible. Right?
I feel like we're going to have to work out the chicken coop thing a little bit more. I feel like...
We're not having a chicken coop, people. No chicken coop. Can't decide on where it goes.
No, that's not accurate.
Or we focus on the chicken coop, and then something else might not be able to happen.
Well, like the garden.
Whoa.
Well,
whoa.
You get rid of one of my things, I get rid of one of your things. Okay? Do you see now? I'm just saying. Okay, I just think that it makes sense. Okay, I don't want to have the animals too close to the house. I also need to get like a livestock guardian situation happening, and
Well, I mean, why though?
to guard the livestock. There's coyotes and
there's hardly any predators here. There's hardly any coyotes. I've seen a couple foxes. You just want an excuse to get a big dog that you're then going to bring in the house.
I'm not gonna bring it in the house. It's the outside guard dog.
Okay. What, like a Pyrenees?
Pyrenees bug me. I like some of the other ones better.
Yeah, let's pump the pause button on that. Just pump those brakes.
Okay, but I want to be able to have... I feel like the chickens need an area that's like... They won't really go out of here. If
Yeah, they will.
No, not if you train
They'll
them.
be everywhere.
No.
I've had chickens.
Yes, and I don't think you remember.
They'll go
that
anywhere they
say
can get away with.
Only like you get random one or two that are like, hey, I'm gonna like go exploring. But and it's usually the colored egg layers. Those guys are cheeky.
All right, so the first chicken, or any chicken, that ends up pooping up in the front yard, I can kill it. Doesn't matter which chicken it is.
Okay, it matters a little bit which chicken it is.
Well, then You need to be on my page, which is they can't get up there.
So you just need to make really good fences.
Well, how much money do you want to spend?
Well,
Did you win the lottery when I wasn't looking?
no, but I think there's a better way to do some of this than some of the things that you're saying out of your mouth.
I think you just think you can say, put a fence there, and then just twinkle your nose and go like that, and then
Yes.
there'll be a fence there. It doesn't work like that. No.
Well, okay, that's fine. You guys, you tell me what are some of your ideas for chicken coops, because I feel like I've seen some cool ones where they're like part of the barn on the back end that I really like that concept, so that they can kind of go out during the day a little bit. Like the horses could come out here and then go up in the evening. Like, I'm not mad at that. He wants them all confined in like one little tight space where they're not going to be able to eat the grass and live their life. And
that space would still be bigger than the entire yard at our last place.
But will it though? Because you're saying that you're going to make the run small.
Well, first of all, we don't need to have as many birds as you had at our last place. That was absurd.
That is blasphemy. And I didn't have that many birds, number one. Number two, I didn't notice you not eating the eggs that they make.
We gave away more eggs than we ate.
Only that was during the summer when it got crazy and you guys decided you were on an egg strike and you weren't eating eggs.
I was never on an egg strike.
Y'all were on an egg strike. They weren't eating eggs. I was like, guys, let's make eggs. No, I can't eat eggs. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So then I made a quiche. But I'm just saying.
All right. Okay, hold on. Time out. So we've shown you guys enough here at this point. Those of y'all that are still with us, because like I said, this is going to be a painful episode.
See, we weren't kidding the other day when we were talking about this. It gets ugly because we don't see eye to eye on stuff. And he thinks I should not have any animals.
We don't see eye to eye.
I think he shouldn't have any garden because he wants to take away all my animals. So then I'm going to take away his garden.
I only want to be efficient. I only want to do the smart things with the land. I want to I want to make sure that we're not over pressuring the land by putting too many animals in too small a space.
I want them to run free.
And I want to make sure that I don't have to deal with chicken poop on my front porch.
The chickens are not going to get to the front porch.
And if they do, I get to kill them.
Away.
If they do, I get to kill them.
Listen, Linda. They're not
Coke of on.
Well,
or fried chicken.
Listen.
Or chicken tenders.
No. Listen.
I can do ground chicken.
Listen. Okay, here's the thing. They have all that room over here. They're not going to run all the way over there.
They're going to go where you are.
That's because I'm a very popular lady. In the chicken community, I am.
All right. Yeah. We've shown you guys enough of the area that we're trying to decide things on. I would love to hear, hopefully we get some like just amazing, groundbreaking, like somebody's opinion right now that solves a problem for us, because we're struggling with solving it ourselves. I feel like we agree.
We agree that there should be animals.
60-70%. I feel like 60 or 70%. But that last 30 or 40.
I feel like that's mainly because I gave in.
I feel like you should draw a picture.
I can't draw.
Okay, I will draw an outline. How's this? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We may do this tomorrow. I could draw an outline of each of these like paddocks. Okay.
Right. Okay.
And then you could draw on top of that. It doesn't even have, you could just say, I want my chicken coop here. I want my barn here.
Yeah, I want my chicken coop there, but you already said no.
You want your chicken coop right there.
Yeah, that's the perfect spot.
You want your chicken coop right there, right behind the house.
Well, only because you told me I couldn't put it with the barn. If I could put it with the barn, then that's fine. Right
there. If I said yes to the chicken coop right there, that would mean that my garden would then have to go right next to the barn.
See,
right here.
That's what's upsetting. So I feel like it would be really good if we could like use the front yard area as the garden. I know you say we can't.
The only way we can use the front yard as a garden is if we cut all the trees down.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Gardens need sunshine.
Technicality. Listen.
Notice how there's no trees right there where I said that's a great spot for a garden. Notice how The only trees that are there are on the east side. So if there's any shade, it's afternoon shade.
Okay.
So that it's all morning sun.
But I feel like if
she likes to eat out of the garden.
I know.
But she does not like to accommodate the garden in any way.
No. But I feel like if we put the barn over there and the chicken coop over there, and they can come out and go in and live their life, then it's fine.
So now the chicken coop's not over here anymore. What just happened?
I don't know. I don't thought that was not an option, because that was where the garden was.
See what happens, guys? We just had a whole discussion about that could be an option. And if we do that, then we have to do this. Well, but then she listened to zero of the words that I said.
If you put your garden there, the horses are gonna eat over the fence and eat your garden.
I can solve for that.
But you can't solve for chicken runs?
Oh.
I understand. See? That's why you just have to make it happen, honey. I love you.
I do need a drink. I need something strong.
I think he's hangry. I didn't feed him dinner yet. I think he's hangry. Are you hangry? Do you need a hot pocket?
I need something. I need you to understand some things about the layout of the land that are important, so that you can then make an informed decision about where things should be.
A window licker. I get it. I'm just saying, like...
Wow.
It startled me.
That was a fly.
It was one of those big giant horse flies.
It was still a fly, regardless of size.
I don't like it when things buzz by my ear. It makes my ear vibrate.
You're not allowed to go deer hunting with me ever. Ever.
Okay. Thank you for joining us for this very strange episode of Sippin and Spilling with Sid and Mike from 3 Mississippi.
I'm going to go get just hammered now. And fall asleep on the front porch before the chicken poop arrives.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.